Hey everyone, hello and welcome back to Maybe a Game a Day 188. And look at this, look what I have for you today. It's Motor City Online. So as I said, we're not gonna have any games that are playable today because I don't have time, and I always wanted to have this game on the channel. I don't know why, something about this game was always so, I don't know, it really consumed me back in the day. And this game was, I think, at first called Need for Speed Motor City, and then they repurposed the game, and the single player was cut out, and this game just became an MMO. So this game was developed by EA Seattle and published by Electronic Arts in 2001. And this game, I think it closed in 2003, and I didn't play it as much as I wanted because I was too late to it. I didn't have fast internet connection back then, and when I had it, this game was around for like maybe a half a year, and then it just closed. The servers were shut down, and you couldn't play this anymore. So that was pretty bad. They didn't have a lot of subscribers, a lot of players playing the game, so they just had to close the servers. They didn't have anything from it, and it was over. We had Need for Speed World, which is also cool. I played it, but this had something. I don't know what. Maybe I was just a stupid kid back in the day, but the gameplay of this game was really unique. So you could make yourself, male or female, whatever, and there was a lot of game modes, circuit drags, trials, whatever, turf wars. So you could play all of these, and you had your cars. And in this game only featured American cars, all the way from 1940s to 1970s. Great, awesome cars like AMCs, Buicks, Cadillacs, Chevrolets, I don't know, Dodge, Chargers, Fords, a lot of American cars. I think it was probably like 30, 40 cars, maybe more, I don't know. Plymouths, Oldsmobiles, Pontiacs. And in the end, in 2003, they added two Japanese cars, Supra and Eclipse. So, I don't know why they added those two, but they did. And out of all of these American cars, they had the Shelby Cobra, which was awesome. They added these two, I don't know why. So in this game also, you could customize, of course, your car. And trust me, if you didn't play this, the customization in this game was just crazy. Like, there were so many parts, and most of those were expensive, if my memory serves me well. But it was so awesome and so good. You could customize anything. The cars could look so good. Of course, there's a visual customization, parts. You could buy parts. And of course, there was performance modifications in the game, including body, engine, suspension, brakes, wheels. All of that you can see in Need for Speed games nowadays. But the visual quality of the game, you can see on your screens right now. Well, all of these HUDs were like what car you're driving. You see, it's made like an old American cars, and that was so awesome. Like, you could just drive I don't know, 69 Pontiac, or I don't know, 57 Ford, 50, I'm just throwing numbers, 69 Mustangs, or it was so freaking cool. And I don't know why. I mean, I'm not really a muscle car guy. Probably a lot of Americans are, but we don't have those here. So playing those cars in these games probably is just awesome for us, because we don't see these cars every day. And maybe that's why this game was so special. But I'm so sad that it's not available still. Just like Need for Speed World, it's still not available. There's a lot of gameplay on YouTube, but for this game there's not a lot of gameplay on YouTube. I just couldn't find anything good that I would watch. And oh my god, I got so excited. And as I said, I don't have a lot of time. This will be a busy week, a busy weekend, I suppose. So it's a big day tomorrow, day after, for me and for my family. So we're just gonna make this short. Tomorrow's episode is gonna be, well, it's gonna be pretty short. and it's gonna be a racing game too, a sports racing game, and you probably know what it is, a sport and a racing game. Well, it's F1, and the next one is F1 2001, but let's not talk about the F1 now. Let's talk about Motor City Online. Of course, in the game, awesome soundtrack, just like in every other Need for Speed or any other game from this time period. Like, you just remember games, earlier Need for Speed games, from, let's say, Underground until, all the way up. You had all of these crazy soundtracks in the games, all licensed, of course. I mean, how could they not be? But you just remember those old FIFAs and old NBA games, Maddens. Basically, all of these games had so good soundtracks with real songs that you could listen for hours. And when you're younger, you play these games whole day, and just those songs get stuck in your head. And this game too had an awesome soundtrack. There were, like, I don't know, a few radio stations that you can change depending on your mood or whatever, so you can just listen to whatever you like. Of course, there were auctions, just like in most of these online games. There were auctions that you can buy some parts which are not new, and then it's a lower price, and then you can sell it. So it was kind of like buying, selling stuff. That was pretty awesome too. And this game was, well, it was so good, and we played it, but as I said, not for long. It was defunct like 6-7 months after we started, and I didn't, I had maybe like 2 cars, not a lot of customization. I played a lot of races, but the grind was real, and you had to really grind this game to get something. So what could you do? You played, I was young, my internet was super slow, but what to do? So I was always hoping Need for Speed or any other game franchise will release a game, online game that you could play, and with a lot of cars. The world was awesome. It had a lot of cars. I'm gonna have to check how many, but I remember it had a crazy number of cars that you could customize, and just like this one. But in this one, only American cars. And I didn't even mention that these cars could get damaged. And when you damage a car after the race, you can repair it. You could, and you should, you had to repair the car, and then, so you can race more. So that was awesome. And I always liked that, mechanic that the car gets damaged, and then you can't drive like a lunatic. You had to be careful, watch out for your car, and then repair it. That's pretty common in rally games, where after the race there's those service stations that you need to repair the car. You have like an hour, so you spend those minutes to repair the car. That was awesome, and that's awesome in these games. One of the games that has this is Street Racing Syndicate, another one of my games from my childhood. And if you didn't play that one, that's a really awesome game, and I'm waiting to play that one. I actually can't wait to play that one. That's a pretty great game, and I really like it. I finished it a bunch of times. And when we were younger, we played that game, and of course you can collect cars, you can customize cars. There's a bunch of Japanese cars, of course also American cars, but the most of the cars were Japanese, Korean, and the customization is great. And also you could have a girlfriend, so you could just there were some side missions, mini games that you can play in order to get your girl. And there were some videos of the girls dancing, and we were kids, and that was like, whoa, this game is lit. So we played that like crazy, and finished it, trying to gather every girlfriend. And now when I say it, it sounds really really bad. Gathering girlfriends, that's bad. But it had something that no other game had at the time. And still, I don't know if there's any racing games where you can have a girlfriend. I don't know. If you know some, just write in the comments. I will play it. I will record it and put it on the channel. But yeah, this is Motor City Online. So the graphics, well, I believe, if I remember that I read these days that the engine on this game was a highly modified engine from High Stakes, and it kind of looks like High Stakes, and the minimap looks like it's from High Stakes. I wouldn't know. I don't remember. I had the game on the channel. I played it recently, maybe like 2 months ago, 3 months ago. I just can't remember. Oh my gosh, I'm getting older. Yeah, probably. But yeah, the game looked good, and I mean, it still does, kinda. Not like nowadays games, of course. But just remember, what games we had on the channel, and yeah, this one looks pretty good. Car models, awesome. I mean, this was more than 20 years ago, guys, so this was shut down 20 years ago, started 22 years ago. So yeah, I would say at the time this game looked so cool, so good. But of course nowadays, well, after all these Gran Turismos, after all these Forza Horizons, Forza Motorsports, Need for Speeds, this game is just, well, there's no competition, right? So I'm happy that I will have this game on the channel, even though it's unplayable nowadays. But I just had to, talk about it and remind myself, and if any of you guys play this, that this game was so awesome. It's not Need for Speed, but let's say it's a spin-off of Need for Speed. So yeah, let's say like that. And of course, guys, if you like this, reminder, leave a like. If you did not like it, well, leave a dislike. What can I do? And subscribe to the channel, and of course come back tomorrow. As I said, tomorrow we're gonna have F1 2001, and that game was, I mean, I only played that one on PS1. I never played on PC, so I don't know what to expect. I installed it, it's working, everything is fine. I just had to play a race, but I don't really know what to expect. We'll see everything, like gameplay wise, graphics wise, mechanics wise, whatever, physics wise, we'll see. But I really don't know what to expect. So anyways, thank you for watching, guys. I'm gonna catch you tomorrow in the next episode of Maybe a Game a Day. Bye bye.